To AWANI tonight with me, Farhana Sheikh. Klang Valley hospitals to receive aid as cases surge. And what are the implications of UMNO's withdrawal of support to the Prime Minister? That's coming up. The government has announced measures to increase the capacity of hospitals in the Klang Valley. This as COVID-19 cases continue to rise with 8,868 cases recorded today, the second highest to date. Not only that, Malaysia also registered the highest fatalities from COVID-19 today at 135. Health Minister Datuk Seri Dr. Adam Baber said the government will be adding more beds, oxygen supply and manpower to hospitals struggling with a surge of cases. Among the 10 measures announced includes the addition of ICU beds in public and university hospitals, such as Ampang Hospital and University Putra Malaysia's teaching hospital, to allow for the transfer of critically ill COVID patients from the MIPS Integrated COVID-19 Quarantine and Low Risk Treatment Centre 2.0. MIPS PKRC has a total bed capacity of 5,198. Of which 154 have been designated for Category 4 patients who require oxygen support. The utilization rate of these beds, however, has exceeded its limit, while beds for patients in Categories 1, 2 and 3 are also nearly fully utilized. In view of this, Dr. Adam said over 110 health officers from Kedah, Perak, Terengganu and several hospitals in the Klang Valley will be temporarily placed at MIPS for up to 6 months. The ministry will also immediately increase oxygen supply at the centre. The Tuanku Mizan Military Hospital in Wangsa Maju will also be roped in to accept and treat Category 3 and 4 patients, while the Health Ministry Training Institute in Sungai Buloh will reopen to place Category 1 and 2 patients. Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin Yassin remains in his position and, along with his cabinet, continues to exercise federal executive powers as usual. Attorney General Tan Sri Idrus Harun said there is no clear evidence that the Prime Minister no longer commanded the support of the majority of the members of the Parliament. According to Article 43 in bracket 2 in bracket A of the Federal Constitution, whether a person has the confidence of the majority of the members of the Dewan Rakyat shall be determined by the members of the Dewan Rakyat themselves and not through a statement by a political party or any political party leader. Idrus said this in a statement referring to the announcement by UMNO President Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi that the party had decided to immediately withdraw and end support for Muhyiddin as the Prime Minister. After the UMNO Supreme Council virtual meeting that lasted more than 4 hours last night, Ahmad Zahid said in a statement that the decision on Muhyiddin was reached following the alleged failure of the Perikatan Nasional Government, led by Muhyiddin, to address the COVID-19 pandemic and so being unable to meet the people's expectations and demands. The announcement by UMNO President Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi late last night has sent shockwaves across the country. However, what is the implication of this announcement to the current ruling government? Is it the end of Perikatan Nasional? We speak to political analyst Mujibu Abdul Muiz.
It's still early to guess which way the wind is blowing, because any decision made by political party regarding to its support for the government has no legal effect. So I'll assume it's still business as usual for PN at the moment, but for the fact that the fundamentals of PN government has not changed, for me it is still highly unstable. What I'm trying to say is now we are looking at Tan Sri Muhyiddin is clutching at straws because he's find a way to keep everybody happy, especially in PN government, and making Datuk Sri Ismail Sabri as Deputy Prime Minister and upgrading Datuk Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein to Senior Minister position. Maybe the reflection on it, especially after what UMNO have decided during the UMNO General Assembly recently. So it was made clear to UMNO that when UMNO urged Perikatan Nasional to open parliamentary session, and the fact that this will going to jeopardize Perikatan Nasional because of UMNO support is very vital to the survival of UMNO. So making them Deputy Prime Minister and Senior Minister maybe try to buy the heart of UMNO, especially knowing that UMNO now is rift into several factions that's still supporting the Perikatan Nasional and the other side that want to break away from Perikatan Nasional. So on paper, I will simply say that Perikatan Nasional is no longer enjoys the majority needed to the government, but yet still this need to be formally ratified from the legal perspective. Maybe it can be done through parliamentary sitting. Of course, vote of no confidence can be tabled, or presenting the case into the Yang di-Pertuan Agong consideration like what was happened last year. But for me, the best, return it back to the people and decide it through the ballot box, which is very unlikely at this moment due to COVID-19 and what we have learned through Sabah state election in 2020.
On the other hand, what does this latest revelation mean for UMNO? Political analyst Mujibu Abdul Muiz said that the rift among the UMNO members would bring about an inevitable split to the party and signal trouble to the president himself.
Rumors about the rift among UMNO is indeed true, and maybe the split is inevitable. Yeah, because you can simply see that the condition is there where there are several factions in UMNO that still does not say anything, yeah, especially those who are sitting as a cabinet minister, and the numbers that contribute to UMNO's sitting in parliament, majority were there as a sitting cabinet minister. So rift can be nearer than before upon this decision, because whether we can simply see that Zaid Hamidi is going to break away from UMNO, or the other way around, where this so-called the minister cluster of UMNO will propose for motion of no confidence to the president of UMNO. Because as I said before, yeah, the so-called rift among UMNO is very obvious to us now, but the most important question is the split is inevitable because of this latest revelation.
When he withdrew his party from PN, did UMNO President Zaid Hamidi set in motion changes to the political landscape? Or is it still a stalemate? Tonight on Consider This, we ask our guests, what's next? Meanwhile, Parti Pejuang Tanah Air is now registered as a political party. This was revealed by former Prime Minister and Chairman of the party, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad, today, after the Registrar of Societies has finally approved the party's application. After a series of court battles, the High Court recently ordered Home Minister Datuk Sri Hamzah Zainuddin to make a decision on an appeal by Pejuang regarding its registration within 14 days, beginning from June 25th. In an online conference today, he claimed that the party has no interest in playing politics and planned to table a motion for the setting up of a National Recovery Council. Pejuang was formed by Mahathir and a handful of other MPs after their sacking from Bersatu in May last year. We'll take a short break. Stay with us.
SOP with the utmost discipline. Together, we can flatten the curve.
Bila sentuh soal berita, tiada masa untuk tunggu. Kepada anda kami bawakan fakta, susulan dan kupasan yang terkini. Tiada drama dan tiada pengulangan. Usah tunggu lama-lama. Awani 7.45 lebih awal dari biasa.
Welcome back. More than 4 million people around the world have died of COVID-19. The United States, Brazil and India account for more than a third of deaths. The grim milestone comes as new cases and deaths are dropping in the US and Europe, where significant numbers of people have been vaccinated. But some developing countries like Indonesia are still facing surging outbreaks. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, an average of 7,900 COVID-19 deaths were reported each day over the past week. That is 46% less than the global peak of more than 14,700 daily deaths in January, but 57% higher than the pace of about 5,000 daily deaths from this time last year. The global death toll exceeded 1 million on September 18, 2020, 191 days after the WHO declared COVID outbreak a global pandemic. It took 115 days for the global death toll to hit 2 million, 88 days to surpass 3 million, and another 89 days to reach 4 million. Given the difficulty in accurately tracking the spread of the virus, especially in developing world, many experts believe the global death toll is likely significantly higher than the officially reported number. The World Health Organization, in a press briefing today, warned about the grim situation where variants of the COVID virus are thriving across the globe. The most worrying is the Delta strain, which has been detected in 104 countries and regions worldwide.
The virus is mutating, it's changing. Even the Delta variant itself is mutating, and it will continue to do so. We still have the upper hand. Let's use the tools that we have to keep transmission down, drive down transmission, and really be smart. Play it safe, be smart, do what we can at individual level measures.
The WHO also cautioned against full-scale openings. Countries with high vaccination rates like the US and the UK have been gradually lifting public health measures.
We would ask governments to be really careful at this moment, not to lose the gains you've made, to open up very carefully. We've seen over the last 6 months, case after case, country after country, in which there was a lot of increase in social mixing without adequate vaccine coverage, and we've seen wave after wave of cases.
The European region saw a 33% increase in COVID cases in the last week. In the US, the Delta variant now makes up more than half of all new infections. The Japanese government declared a COVID-19 state of emergency in Tokyo as the number of new cases continues to rise sharply in the capital. This will likely force the organizers of the Olympics to hold the Games without any spectators in attendance. Japanese Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga said the measure will go into effect on Monday and be in place until August 22nd, a time frame that covers the entire duration of the Olympic Games. Organisers have already banned overseas spectators and have set a cap on domestic fans at 50% of capacity to a maximum of 10,000 people. Suga, however, noted that the government may consider lifting the state of emergency early if the pandemic situation improves and more people are vaccinated. 4 suspects connected to the assassination of Haiti's President Jovenel Moïse were killed in a shootout with security forces. The police said 2 others have been detained, while some remaining suspects are thought to be still at large in the nation's capital, Port-au-Prince. 53-year-old Moïse was fatally shot when attackers stormed his residence at around 1 a.m. on Wednesday. His wife was injured and has been flown to Florida, where she is said to be in a critical but stable condition. Speaking after the killing, Interim Prime Minister Claude Joseph declared a nationwide state of emergency, which allows for the banning of gatherings and use of military for police roles, along with other extensions of executive powers. That is all we have for you on AWANI tonight. Get the latest news update on COVID-19 and COVID-19 vaccines from astroawani.com and Astro AWANI app. I'm Farhana Sheikh. We'll see you again.